Center of Excellence in Procurement started its work at Kyiv School of Economics. Our guests are Natalya Shapoval, Director, and Oleksandr Starodubtsev, Director of Regulatory Department for State Procurements, Ministry of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine, and Oleksandr Nakhod, Deputy General Director on Procurement, Public Post Company Ukrposhta. Welcome on stage, dear colleagues. Good afternoon. One important event in Prozoro's life. Our system Prozoro started for all participants in Ukraine starting 1st August 2016. The system is ongoing, and each day there are tenders, and the biggest problem that exists in the sphere of state procurement is the issue of lack of professionalism, because there are many those who want to participate, enterprises, and more than 16,000 orderers, and 25 commissions, tender commissions, and in many cases people in tender committees, they do not understand properly what it is, and they are not interested, because de facto this is a social load on them with some sort of possibility of criminal responsibility for this. And for the department, for Prozoro team, for us, there is a priority, and if we can deal with the small orderers, providing online courses at our site, we created the site on Prometheus, and also help desk in order to help orderers and to answer their questions. But we understand that there is a segment of orders like Energa Atom, Ukrposhta, and the big enterprises, ports, and for these orders we should create something else, because they have several tens of tenders each day, and they know procedures of procurement, but they do not understand properly the logic, how these public procurements are made. That's why we thank Kyiv School of Economics, and that was created by the American government. That is the course for those who take part in procurement, and we would like to tell more about philosophy of procurement, and that we should start with a strategy. That's why we want to place this program in the business school, so when they teach management, they say that there is strategy of enterprise or institution, and from this strategy, they build the strategy of procurement, and to understand the supply chain management and overall strategy, supply management, because the world practice is that usually all orderers, they are taught how to carry out procedure and how to make these procurements and take into account many aspects concerning management and the processes. How to carry out qualification, how to do it through the Prozoro site. And for us, it was important that this renowned business school with good practices in economy, that they are with us in this project and they help us. I would like to give the floor to Natalya Shapoval, who is responsible for this project in Kyiv School of Economics. Thank you, Alexander, for these wonderful words about our school. As Alexander rightfully mentioned, this is a difficult area, and people who work in state procurement, they are overloaded and they are forced to carry out procurement together with implementing many other projects, and there are many different areas. They bring pensions to the villages in the east, and at the same time, for example, they should make procurements. And 15,000 organizations that make these procurements in public sector, that can be, for example, 5 people or 800 people in procurement. And there are many difficult decisions that are made by tender commissions, and they can even face criminal responsibility in case of some violations. And there are many paper documents with which they should work, and some rules are not clear, or some information is not clear. So the procurement, there should be people who can deal professionally in the area of procurement and to take professional decisions in order to improve and speed up or to save, in order to provide better quality and added value in order that this organization creates. And for the organizations that make procurements, this is a wonderful instrument in order to decrease the cost of product or service, to increase quality, or to speed up the cycle of production. So the instruments, the potential for saving is great. And I will show that in the market that is now, there are different practices, and we have where to expand to. So here are 25 biggest enterprises that make procurement. So in 3 quarters of 2016, they carried out procurements with the highest expected value. And here are well-known organizations. And here we looked at different factors. So I cannot see the picture because there is small print. We looked at the difference, how people assess the value of product or service they want to buy, complaints, the number of competitors that attend tenders. So this is different figures. So if we look at the leaders concerning size, so the result, 17, the worst result. And there are better planners, and more people come, and suppliers trust them more. And there is different slide. This slide shows how organizations assess expected cost. So if it changes for 50% or does not change, maybe this product or service was not properly assessed. So for organizations that do not work really well, 12% of such procurement, there can be examples, cases, when they didn't assess this expected value correctly. And others assessed expected value better. Now, next slide. This is the number of complaints. Here we see the number of complaints. 24 average per tender. There can be complaints for the worst tenders and 0 for the best. Also concerning the number of participants. The number of participants. What is interesting is the average number in this big group is 3 competitor, supplier for tender. So this is more than average on public procurement, where it is about 2.7. And in the best case, there are 7 suppliers per tender. That's why this is a good news. There are good practices in Ukrainian market. And in order to bring other organization for these standards and to improve and increase professionalism in the area, we create such a course that will start next year, and it is aimed to help people, those who take decisions, that they make them strategically and provide better quality, that the procurement should be within the strategy and within the financial area, and they should consider it concerning the product they create. So there are several blocks. So these are business and economic area, how to calculate expected value, legal block, international legislation and project management, how to work with suppliers, how to assess market. And here I would like to thank all those who were involved in the creation of such a program, because this is not only done by Kyiv School of Economics. This is procurement department of the ministry and other people from the ministry and many advisors from different countries, Poland, Korea, America. So they advise how to do it better. This is such an idea that was supported by the USA government. They fully support the creation of such a program and the TAPAS project. And Oleksandr Nakhod, Ukrposhta representative, they helped us to see how these processes work and how to improve them. Thank you, and I give the floor to Oleksandr.
Thank you, colleagues. I'm Nakhod Oleksandr from Ukrposhta. I would like to start from the following. As head of the procurement service in our enterprise, I understand the procurement service objective as to provide necessary goods at the most optimal, the most cheapest price. Having established Prozora system, we provided a good and convenient instrument. But in general, the efficiency of procurement system depends on how efficiently and how transparently people use this instrument. And the second is that the procurement system in general is bigger than Prozora system. Prozora allows to find the better supplier, but procurement starts from the moment when you decide about your needs, from the moment when you analyze the market. And then after having selected your supplier, you have to develop the contract, you have to implement it, analyze quality of the product, and the next step in this process is final delivery of this product to that consumer in your organization who needs this very product. Now, having analyzed all this process in our company, we have seen big room for improvement at all stages of this process. Now, I'm very glad that when in process of shaping new team in the Ukrposhta company, we at the same time are able to launch this project about public procurement, about strengthening efficiency of public procurement, and we will be able together analyze the whole procurement process, the all stages of this process in Ukrposhta together, and improve them considerably. We have a state. We are a state company which spends almost 1 billion of hryvnia for all sorts of procurements. This makes us extremely interested in strengthening efficiency. On the other hand, as a representative of Prozora team, we are interested in having this training program for professional procurement specialists, to have them available for all our state companies. The efficiency of expert on procurement's work is measured in huge amounts of money, like millions and millions, which could be saved for this, for the state budget. And I think that in best case, in result of the project success, we will make a real breakthrough in the public procurement area in Ukraine. And we will push on the public procurement reform considerably. I think that thus we are implementing very important element of this public procurement reform. Within 2-3 months, we will work hard and hope to understand how we should improve this system. And in result of this project, quality program in public procurement training will be produced. I will add very shortly, this program will be built on the Prozora logic. 2 years ago, we tried to find the best system in the world to develop Prozora software. So we haven't find anything better than Prozora system. Thus, we decided to find the training program, and haven't found it. So hopefully now we will produce something which we believe will be a good product. As a state institution as Department on Public Procurement. We always seek for partners, best partners from business who are able to test on practice all our findings while we would take the role of coordinator. So now we provide assistance in area of policy, coordination, methodology, while there is Kyiv School of Economics and TAPAS project, which will do everything here. I'm Anton, Piotr Maziepa publication. Strategy, tactics, and philosophy of procurement of the companies which you mentioned are aimed at getting money, taking money into their pocket. Whether you wish to legalize this process. For the program to be effective, we need to have right teachers, right program, and right trainees for the program. In Ukrposhta, they are interested in having transparent and efficient process, not aimed at corruption, and that's why we will select those people who have motivation and wishing to have a result. As a media representative, I can ask whether that student was taught some strategy. I would like to see the list of enterprises who would reject to participate in your program. 14,000 organizations is a huge market. Maybe we expect that we will have a lot of volunteering people. Those people who wish to change, they are welcome in our program. We'll come and analyze them. Those who do not wish to be taught, they will become less and less competitive in this market. I will add on behalf of Marta and strategy. Of course, it's a natural wish to legalize something in the document approved by the cabinet and then punish somebody who is not implementing it. Quite often, when you confirm some reform by the cabinet, then you understand that the first step does not fit the concept, and you start to reconcile new concept with the cabinet. From the very beginning, we stuck with the concept of minimal feed product. then we agreed with some state organizations like Energatom, like presidential administration, and tested our product. Then we started to work with those companies to launch pilot project. Then we prepared secondary bylaws, secondary education, and then we made decisive step to the national system. And this logic in implementation, when you gradually work on reforming in our new strategy of implementation, we spent 90% for project implementation and only 10% of our time for bureaucracy. If people wish to implement some real change, you should try the following strategy. Oleksandr Nakhod, who spent a year looking at the system, analyzing its shortcomings, and thinking how to change the system. Those for them, for people like Volodymyr Nakhod, this process and this project is launched. If people wish to change, the strategy will help them. If they do not wish to change, the strategy would not help. As the customers of this training system, I should say that Prozora project started from inefficiency of the public procurement in our country, which is twofolded: poor awareness and poor knowledge and poor processes. This is one side of inefficiency. Another side, another component of inefficiency in this public procurement system, old procurement system, was the criminal intention, that is to get unlawful proceeds from public procurement. I cannot imagine Kyiv School of Economics sending letters requesting two participants from each public company. That's funny. I believe that there will be interesting program which would become attractive for those people who wish to change something. I think that this is one of the most potentially potential sector where you can strengthen efficiency. If you wish to introduce changes, you have a huge field of improvement here. So our joint task is to allow such people willing to work better to provide them with good knowledge, good instruments. My expectations are as follows: that those people who are really interested in improving procurement procedure in public companies will be enrolled to this course. On the other hand, this is a very interesting area. It is not a unique sector which is peculiar just for our country. Recently, Max Nefedov presented a picture from European public procurement market, and this convinced us that we are moving in the right direction and that our findings later could be applied not just for public sector, but could be offered to private sector too. Thank you, dear colleagues. Dear colleagues, next meeting will be at 12:30.